Hello guys. So this is gonna be like a very raw video, but I will just fucking yap about why Pirate is like the best character in high level duels at the moment, in my and Bean's opinions. Probably like two of the best duelists the game's ever seen. So the issue with Pirate right now is that she's essentially very safe while also being very unreactable. So what I mean, her forward dodge heavy in practice basically functions in a very similar way to just a normal forward dodge bash. As in, it's an unreactable opener. This is what it is. So, why Pirate was bad before is that you could just sit there and react to unblockable every time because it was bad. But since the parry timing a few months ago, that's no longer possible at all. I think the unblockable is at best reactable to like two people, which would be like Bean and Bengalations and arguably SG probably as well. But even then, like even they can only do it maybe like 25% of the time. And if I do like unblockable into under unblockable, into under unblockable, into a fucking under unblockable, because that's what I can do on the character, because it allows me to with the stamina management she has. That just makes it basically impossible in practice. Which makes it the same as a forward dodge bash, right? Forward dodge bash is also unreactable ever since bash changes. So the problem with Pirate right now is that she has an essentially better version, objectively better version of a Legion kick. And I'll get to why, but even if you like just think about it and you imagine that the forward dodge heavy is essentially a bash that deals 17 damage that you can recovery cancel at 200 ms, which is the same timing at the earliest as old Orochi forward dodge bash. And you can also chain into a fucking instant hyper armor heavy. It just it makes sense. Like I don't even have to explain it. It just sounds ridiculous. What I would do to fix the character is do not nerf her offense in terms of reactability, because that's something that devs don't want. They don't want people to react to unblockables, and they've shown it by like buffing Pirate. They buffed. They're going to buff Glad next week. So I would keep the current parry timings just to keep the character functional. Then the unblockable would stay at 700 ms in my opinion, because I feel it plays a very big like role in how reactable it is. Because just like speeding it up by 100 ms from 800 alone made it like much harder to react to, especially in force. So I feel like at 800 ms it would be too slow to work even with the current parry timings. So yeah, that's why. Delay the hyper armor on the forward dodge heavy by 100 ms, and I'll get to why in a second. But basically, the premise is if I counter GB and buffer the forward dodge heavy, you cannot light interrupt me. I'm gonna trade every single time, which is different from any forward dodge bash. If I GB someone, I get counter GB, I make a read, they're gonna go for a forward dodge bash. I can light them on read every single time, and I'm gonna get that light. In like I said, like there's two exceptions, but that's like broken recovery, but whatever. I would remove the recovery cancel on whiff, so you cannot just dodge attacks, because that's fucking stupid. And I would remove the chaining to hyper armor, because that's essentially, if you think about it, similar thing to what Shugoki used to have and also Ocelotl used to have, and they both got removed for being unhealthy. Even those were like actual bashes that you couldn't parry, because it's a bash, you can't parry it, right? This one you can't parry, but it still is insanely safe. I don't think I have to explain why. And instead of training to like the bash or light, doesn't really matter, because it doesn't really do anything to make it safe. It just makes it so it's not GBable, and if that was GBable, it would be like tragic. Honestly, the character would be very bad. And also keep in mind the forward dodge heavy would still keep its basically non-existent forward dodge GB vulnerability, so you can still buffer that forward dodge heavy on someone's unblockable. If you make a read, they're gonna feint it to GB, bounce the GB with the forward dodge heavy, and feint the dodge forward heavy into a guaranteed GB. Same as what Sohei could do with his old zone, or like what Khatoon can do with her current zone, or what Shaolin can do with forward dodge heavy. She still has that, and that's fucking insanely strong, especially on her because she takes so little stamina to do the forward dodge heavy. That was like insanely strong defensive tool on its own. And then another thing, walk the plank is in a very unhealthy spot, like still, because it's still extremely overtuned for like the casual players, and versus comp players, it's basically you're only ever gonna use it when they have a wall behind them because the damage is insanely overtuned. I think the damage you get right now is 24 plus 22 if you do the gunshot, which is 46 damage, which is, just compare, which is the same or like quite similar, is the same as fucking Yorm side heavy finisher into the chain zone, because that's 22 plus 24 and 2 less damage than a top finisher from Yorm, a character whose entire identity in his rework was built around the displacement slash like wall splat feature, right? And Pirate just gets the like basically same damage on a way better mix-up because Yormi can always dodge attack, and unless you do it very late, his chain zone cannot like have hyper number in time to knock you out of your dodge attack. It's basically too slow. Pirate just doesn't care. If she doesn't do gunshot and goes straight into walk the plank, she GBs dodge attacks, which is insanely safe, especially into casual people who don't have the, how do I say it, awareness of like frame advantage and try to dodge attack through it, even though they can't. So they're gonna eat the GB every single time. Another thing is the walk the plank deals way too much damage, like I said, and it also follows the old wall splat slash displacement design of moves. So Pirate now, as I said, deals 24 plus 22 damage on her unblockable. If you compare it to similar displacement tools, such as Khatoon on GB and Light Parry, yeah, as you can see, Khatoon's initial heavy on the GB one deals 5 damage. And you cannot get any more damage if you want to do a wall splat. So if you misjudge the distance to the wall and you don't get the wall splat, you miss out on like 20 damage, which is a big punishment for basically a bad skill play, right? Which is fine. It should be that way. Same is like, this is what, 29 damage on a wall splat and 32 on the GB and the Light Parry respectively, right? Pirate gets it on a very strong, especially after the buff, chain mix that just doesn't punish bad skill plays. Basically, if there is a wall anywhere nearby, you might as well go for the wall splat every single time, because even if it misses, you lose out on like what, 5 damage. It's nothing in the grand scheme of things. It just doesn't matter. Then, if you do get the wall splat, you deal like fucking insane damage. You deal damage similar to a character whose entire identity and like balance is built around getting that high damage, which is another thing. And let's be real, like Pirate could not have that wall splat on her unblockable, and it wouldn't. If she never had it in the first place, no one would notice. Is what I'm getting at. Nothing revolves around that wall splat. It's just an additional move that she got for no real reason, other than just like variety, I guess. What I would do is nerf the walk the plank initial pin to 12 damage, so it follows the modern like design where the initial wall splatting move is low damage, so that the heavy after on the wall splat can be the main like damaging factor. Especially like if you compare it to where was she? Was this one? Yes, this one. Afira. If you remember Afira back when she released, she used to deal 18 damage on the undodgeable and unblockable follow after bash, and 16 on the wall splitting one, which meant even if you like missed the wall split, you were only punished for measly 2 damage, which meant that basically anytime you think you might be getting wall split, why not go for the option? You're risking losing 2 damage to gain like 27 back then, which is like a no-brainer. Why would you not do it? Then it got nerfed to be 10 damage on the initial attack, which is more in line with the modern design of like wall splitting moves. Except Yormut, like I said, he's kind of built around that. Pirate, I think, is the only character who still follows the old design of like big damage on the wall splitting move and then big damage. Actually, never mind, Glad exists as well, but like big damage into big damage, basically what I'm getting at, which is just not something that you want to have on a character like Pirate. That's already like very strong in basically every single game mode right now. So what I would do is, like I said, make Walk the Plank 12 damage on the initial pin, and make the gunshot after do 14 damage and not 5. So if you go for the full unblockable, it deals 26 damage, and if you get the wall splat, it deals 34. If you do the gunshot, if you don't do the gunshot, it's 2 less damage because of 30 stun on wall splats. It will be 32, which is still a lot of damage, especially on a character that doesn't really need the move at all to be like good. Then another thing, I would remove the dodge cancel on Whiff, because again, it just makes her way too safe. It basically makes her recovery after not matter, because you can just cancel it with a forward dodge heavy into another offense, which is just stupid. I would buff the recovery on its own. Remember, since you cannot cancel it anymore, if you don't dodge after the Walk the Plank, the recovery is quite long, if you like ever did that. I would buff the recovery to the point where it's only GBable if you go into Walk the Plank after a gunshot or a light. So basically think like Ocelot's Chain Bash after nerf. If he goes into it from a light and I buffer a dodge, I can get a free guard break. But after a heavy, that's not possible since I'm in hit stun longer, so it takes me longer to dodge. And I would apply the like same logic to this mix. So basically, Pirate is even more incentivized to not go for the gunshot and just go into the Walk the Plank mix up straight from the heavy, which just rewards frame awareness essentially, which is objectively a good thing because it involves more thinking. You have to actively think more about what you're gonna do, is essentially what I'm saying. This would make character way less oppressive in like how safe she is, because she would be forced to feint way more to bait things. Because right now you can just let the heavy go, and if you see them dodge or dodge attack or anything, it doesn't really matter. You can just fucking Uno reverse it and dodge attack them, or do another forward dodge heavy, or do like anything, or just you can like dodge attack a dodge attack, or you can trade into it. Depends on what you want. And then after the heavy, if you trade into it, you can dodge again if they have like another hyper armor. It's fucking stupid. Characters should not have like that many defensive options on an unreactable offense. And so some people might say it's a cope, since I only ever like started caring about it after they made it unreactable. So now I'm mad that I can't react to it anymore, which is also I guess partly right, because I didn't care about it before, since on high level, basically everyone could react to it who practiced it. And if you could just sit there and react to it, but you didn't do it versus Pirate, you were actively throwing, because you cannot punish the character other than parrying, right? On the casual level, she was fucking always broken due to her safety and no one reacting to unblockables. But I think the reason why that hasn't been nerfed is that people, especially on Reddit, I'd say, just look at high level tier release. They look at like a character that's fucking. Let's say Glad is a good example. Look at the Glad. They like see him in detail or something like near the bottom of the list, and they say, "Wow, Glad is dog shit." But the truth is, Glad is insanely strong and impressive in matchmaking. Like Glad is what I feel like one of the strongest matchmaking characters, due to his neutral being very oppressive with the zone and post up, makes it like really hard to react to attack into him. And his deflect is insanely strong if you can use it properly and not deflect into hyper armor. That's just matchup knowledge. But his skewer deals fucking a shit ton of damage on both both the deflect and just chain version. Like that, like Glad is genuinely one of the best characters in matchmaking on a casual level. But people look at high level tier lists where we play entirely different game essentially, and they assume the character does not work in matchmaking. Same thing with Pirate, same premise. So the character just gets ignored, and everyone who like is a casual and is complaining the character is like too oppressive is just getting ignored essentially because of the hive mind that like looks at high like the highest level tier lists and assumes that they apply, which they never do. It's like I think we always try to make it very clear that it's a high level tier list, and I don't know why people just like willingly ignore it, or they think they are at the said high level, which they never are. The difference between like actual high level and like even high level in matchmaking is fucking like insane. But like straight off topic. Yeah, basically that's like allow do on Pirate. It would make her just deal less damage like on the obvious broken move, because she should not be getting fucking 44 or 46 damage on Wolfsblood. It's just ridiculous. And just nerfs her safety to not be completely insane. This would make it so that the character is way more counterable on a casual level, because people can actually like dodge attack her now, and like dodge on GBA for more damage if they like know the frame data. And yeah, that's basically it. Also to showcase the delay hyper armor change on Pirate in game real quick with Bean. If he's still here, hopefully he is. Alright. As you can see, after I counter a guard break, the hyper armor is fast enough to the point where I can buffer the forward dodge bash, forward dodge heavy, sorry, without getting interrupted ever. That's why I would nerf the hyper armor to the point where it's like not possible, and I'll show you why. If I HB him and he tries to dodge forward bash on me, which is the equivalent like neutral opener to Pirates, I can interrupt him every single time with a light on you. His dodge forward heavy doesn't work either, but that's just fucking that just stands things. I don't see a reason why Pirate should be safer than every other character in the game when it comes to neutral opener offense. Well, they basically serve the same purpose, with Pirate being safer and dealing more damage. The only downside of it being that he can't be parried, but it's not really a big issue since it's unreactable. Yeah, that's basically it. That's like the reasoning behind the hyper armor change. I think pretty obvious to everyone. So yeah, that's it. See you, everyone.